This is the user registration function, and apparently we are taking the username, the email, and the password. Then we are checking if the username, the email, and the password exist. If they don't, we return a message or fields are required, and then if now the user provides all the credentials, that is the email, the password, and the username, we're going to check if this user already exists in a database, because we don't want to like register an existing user. So maybe I used a certain email, I don't want to like to register the same email, so I'm going to check that using this user model. So user model basically is what is used to access the database, and using this method, this is a MongoDB NoSQL method used to find or query data in a database, check if the user exists. So in this case, I'm checking if the email provided by the user exists in a database. If the user exists, that is, if this email the user has provided exists, this if else function over here is going to return a status of 400, that is an error. Then we also, I was redirecting and I was getting an error, but yeah, so I'm going to explain that. But for now, I'm going to return a JSON saying that the user already exists. Maybe you can try to log in because the email has already been used. Then if now the user do not exist, because if he exists, we return, we end the function over here. So if the user do not exist, we are going ahead over here to hash the password, because you don't want to like store the raw password on a database. So over here we hash a password. So this is what will be hashed. And how do we hash? We wait bcrypt. So bcrypt is a library used to hash dot hash. Then we pass the password we want to hash. So this is the raw password from the user. This password over here, we pass it on the hash. Then we pass the salt. So the salt is the number of like the algorithm number of times we are going to like, it's a sort of manipulation of the password. So we are going to manipulate it for 10 times. That is like the standard way. If you increase this number, it will take longer time to hash the password, and you don't want to keep your users waiting. Then next, after now hashing the password, we are going to create a new user now. So this is the new user we are going to store in the database, whereby we are going to pass in the email the user has provided, the name, the way it was, but for the password, we're going to pass it as hashed password, because we want to store an hashed password on the database. Then next, for the saved user, now we are going to wait new user, the new user we have created with a hashed password. Then we save that on the database. Then now we return a response, user created successfully. If this function for registering a user fails completely, we are going to return a status of 500, meaning now the everything has failed completely. Then something has went wrong. Now because you don't know what exactly, because the function itself has failed. Now we are going to return this message, something went wrong. So I can demo that. So let us try to create this user. So this user already exists. I've created, as you can see, I've created two users, the first and the second. So this second already exists. So that means if I run this function, I run this URL or this query, I'm going to get the user already exists. But I can change the email. So let's say maybe who else? James. So we can use James. So James represent a new email which do not already exist. So I can try to change the names and maybe the password. Can have that one. Then we can run this query. We are going to get the user created successfully. If we go to the database and refresh our MongoDB Compass, we are getting the new email, that is james at gmail.com, then the name, then we are going to get an hashed password. So if even the database administrator cannot log into your account because he only can see an hashed password. So that is how we use Express to log in or to register a user.